Good afternoon, one and all. Today we will start the unit number 5. The name of the chapter is Principles of Earthquake Resistant Design. Okay, as per the name implies here, that is the principles of earthquake resistant design. So we have to study here about the how to make the building as a earthquake resistant. Okay, different forces, that dynamic forces are coming on the structure. So at that time, our structure, our building should resist whatever the forces coming on the whatever the forces that are the dynamic forces which are coming on the structure. So at that time, by resisting all the forces, our building should be become a building should be without failure, or building should be built, or it would be with respect to the all parts should be act as a structural integrity, and that's why the failure should be reduced from our building whenever the dynamic loads are coming. So we'll see first whatever the syllabus of this unit number 5, and after that we'll see one by one the principles of this earthquake resistant design, how to go for the plan, again how to go for the different sections, from that rectangular section, again square section over there. Different types of sections are shown here, and for the different inequilibrium type of the structures, we have to convert into the equilibrium structure so that they can resist the different types of the forces which are coming on the structure, and our building will become as a earthquake resistant building. And whatever these planning aspects are there, that we have to understand before planning of the building, that we have to apply that practical knowledge about this planning aspect or the principles of earthquake resistant building, that all whatever the aspects are there, that we have to apply at the starting of the building before the construction, that all aspects we have to use whatever the design criteria also, that also we have to use as far as the practical knowledge on the construction side. Okay, so we see the syllabus. The syllabus is here. The first one is there are the different planning aspect. You can see one is the symmetry, simplicity, regularity, resistance of structural elements and the structures, and again dynamic load, design criteria, and strength and deflection. Only this much syllabus is here in this unit number 5. As far as the concerning the in our section number 1, in the section number 2 there is a theory part only. Unit number 6 there is a one problem, and that is the very important problem for the calculating the earthquake forces for the different types of the buildings or the multi-story buildings. That part we'll see in the next lecture. But in this lecture, we'll finish this unit number 5 in, and tomorrow's lecture we'll finish this unit number 5. And after that, we'll go for the IS code. I will show you the different conditions, different faults from these IS codes, and how to use the IS code for solving the earthquake forces for the different types of the structures. And we'll solve some one or two problems over there for how to calculate the earthquake resistant forces of the multi-story building. Okay, but before going towards that chapter, we have to understand whatever the principles over here, and applying these principles we can go for this calculating the different forces. Okay, and so for that purpose you should understand what is the simplicity, what is the symmetry, what is the regularity, again. Okay, and how these parameters are very helpful to increase the resistivity of that building as a earthquake resistant building. Okay, so that part we'll see here, and whatever the design criteria, what is the strength and what is the deflection, that overall syllabus is included into this unit number 5. Okay, so I request all of you, please write down the syllabus and the name of the chapter unit number 5 on your heading, on your new page. Write down unit number 5. Name of the chapter written, Principles of Earthquake Resistant Design. Principles of Earthquake Resistant Design. Below this, write down the syllabus. Principles of earthquake resistant design below this title syllabus. Planning aspect, planning aspect, planning aspect. In that write down symmetry, symmetry, comma simplicity, symmetry, simplicity, and regularity, regularity, symmetry, simplicity, and regularity, comma resistance of structural elements, resistance of structural elements, resistance of structural element, and structures for dynamic load, structures for dynamic load, comma design criteria, design criteria, comma strength and deflection, strength and deflection. Okay. So about the title of the chapter, we'll see this chapter gives the introduction about the points that should be considered by architect and the structural designer during the conceptual design of structure to avoid the failure during the architect. Okay. So principles of earthquake resistant design. So as far as the name considered about this chapter, unit number 5 is that there is a before planning, before constructing the building, architect and the structural designer, they should focus on the symmetry, simplicity, whatever the aspect are over there, and which will be helpful to avoid the failure of the building during the earthquake. Okay, so that chapter is very important because that all aspect you should know while planning, while designing the building. Okay, and if you know that all aspect, if you apply this all aspect while planning and constructing the building, then automatically your building will become as a earthquake resistant building. Okay, and so there is a most important role is here. The role is coming of that architect, and the second one is the structural designer who is doing the plan, and second one is the who is doing the structural design of that building. And so that's why that two persons are here. One is the architect who is making plan, and second one is the designer who is making the design of that building. They should focus on the whatever the aspect of that building, or whatever the aspect like a symmetricity, simplicity, again regularity, that all aspects should be satisfied from this plan, and after that he should go for the constructing of the building. Okay, so that parameters are considered over here about this title, and based on this they have given the name of the chapter as a principles of earthquake resistant design. I hope all of you have understood what I am telling you about the principles of earthquake resistant design. These are very important because we have to go for the building like a earthquake resistant building. Okay, so all of you, I request all of you, please write down this about the title of the chapter. About the title of the chapter. This chapter gives introduction about the points that should be considered. This chapter gives introduction about the points that should be considered by architect and structural designer during conceptual design of structure, during conceptual design of structure to avoid failure, to avoid failure during earthquake, to avoid failure during earthquake. Okay, now we'll move towards the next point, that is the about the central idea of the chapter. In this chapter, we'll study the different planning aspects such as symmetry, simplicity, regularity to avoid the structural failure. We will also focus on the issues to improve the resistance of structural element. Okay, So the first point is here, that is we have to focus on the different aspect of the building, and that should be applied in on site also. And second thing is that whatever there will focus on the different issues of the different structural member, like a slab, like a beam, columns, and we have to increase the structural integrity of that component also. So how to improve the structural integrity? Based on this also, we have to focus on the study over here, and we have to increase the resistivity as far as the earthquake loading on which is coming on the structure. Okay, and for that purpose also we have to focus on the issues to improve the resistance of the structural element. Okay, so I hope all of you have understand that is the what we are going to learn in this unit number 5, that is the principles of earthquake resistant building. Now we have to move towards the importance of the chapter. Okay, by just strengthening the structure by adding extra material while designing the components will not minimize the failure risk during earthquake, and therefore the care must be taken to avoid the structural damage from its conceptual design itself. Okay, okay, though so already we know if any component is building component is breaking weak, so at that time we can make the strengthening of that component. But strengthening of that structure only by making or adding the extra material while designing the components will not minimize the failure risk during the earthquake. Okay, जेव्हा आपण काय करतो की we make the strengthening, but by strengthening only we cannot minimize the risk during the earthquake. And for that purpose we have to study on these different parameters which will make the building as an earthquake resistant building. And for that purpose we have to go for this simplicity, symmetry, and whatever the types of these the points which are important to uh, to increase the structural integrity of the building, and the different components that strength also we have to increase for the each and every component. Then and then our building will become as a safe while the different dynamic loads are coming on the structures. Okay, and that is written here about the importance. By just strengthening we cannot reduce the failure risk during the earthquake. We have to must taken care to avoid the structural damage from its conceptual design, and we have to make the conceptual design based on the whatever the planning aspect over there related to the symmetry, related to the simplicity and the regularity. Okay, whatever the objective and outcome, we will be studying the following objective. One is the planning aspect, how that planning should be over there, and how the aspect we have to consider while planning the earthquake resistant building. And second one is the resistance of structural element. Resistance of structural element. So we'll see one by one all the parts. Okay. So what is this conceptual design? Conceptual design. Observing the performance of a building during the strong earthquake has been or has been age-old means the educating the engineers and builders on the proper and improper construction of earthquake load resisting system. A structural engineer can be drawn up on a board at a base of engineering obstruction that have been reported in earlier earthquake. An obstruction of performance that suggests insufficient collapses may not, and learning from such observations, faulty construction can be avoided, and observations on good performance of building are not worthy as they serve as example of desirable structural system. The basic factor contributing to the proper seismic behavior of building is an rational conceptual design of the structural system are simplified and the simplicity and the symmetry of the building and the conductivity and transfer of lateral load to the ground without excessive rotation. Okay, so we'll see here the conceptual design. So what is this conceptual design? So by understanding the different types of earthquake where happen with a different velocity, different magnitude, different intensity. So conceptual design, that criteria has been made by understanding the different types of the building, where at what intensity, at what magnitude, and why such a types of the buildings are getting collapsed. And there and different researchers has made the study on that how these buildings are going collapse during this earthquake load, during that intensity load of earthquake, during that magnitude of earthquake, magnitude of that earthquake. Okay, so by researcher has made the study, and based on this they have made the analysis, and they have noted that whenever this geometry of the building, whenever the plan of the building is like this, then there will be a some of the damages will be occur for the building. And so we have to go for the conceptual design, and the conceptual design is nothing but there should be a load path, there should be a variation in the load from top to the bottom, so that all parameters should be considered while planning and the designing of the building. There should be a structural integrity from all the components of the building. There should be a each and every component should be become a strength, which will be have a maximum strength. It should resist all the forces, and at that point only it should be satisfied whatever the load path condition. And at that time, whatever the aspect, again there are the planning aspect about the simplicity, symmetry, and the ductility of the building. Then and then we can at that time we can achieve the building as a earthquake resistant building. And for that purpose only there is a conceptual design parameter is decided about the planning aspect, about achieving the earthquake load as a building as a earthquake resistant building, while load path condition and the continuous load path. So you can see here there is a building, that is the building where is a slab portion is shown, or that there is a wall and there is a column, and you can see there is a foundation. So load path is nothing but whenever the load is from the top to the bottom, that load is transferring from top towards the bottom portion. Okay, that load of slab is transferred towards the beams and walls, and again that beams to walls towards these again column through, again that load is transferred towards the foundation. So that is the continuous load path. So design, conceptual design is nothing but we have to take care about the loading conditions from top towards the bottom portion. So according to that we have to increase the structural integrity between the all the components of the building. Okay, now we'll see what are our overall form of the building, what are the planning aspect of our building, that we'll understand here. While planning a particular structure, the guiding principles to consider are given below. So you can understand this all the principles over here. So I request all of you, please write down this all the principles. These are very important principles from this unit number 5. Write down principles of earthquake resistant building. Write down principles of earthquake resistant building. You can write the first overall form. Overall form means overall building the form कसा असलं पाहिजे, that is nothing but the overall form of the building. So write down overall form of a building. Write down while planning a particular structure. While planning a particular structure. While planning a particular structure, the guiding principles to consider are given below. Guiding principles are guiding principles to consider are given below. Write down first oral form. Be simple and symmetrical. Be simple and symmetrical. Second, not to be elongated in plan or elevation. Not to be elongated in plan or elevation. That is, sides should be moderate. That is, sides should be moderate. Below this write down. Have uniform and continuous distribution of strength. Have uniform and continuous distribution of strength. Mass and stiffness. Mass and stiffness. Below this write down. Fourth one. Have horizontal members. Have horizontal members. Have horizontal members which form hinges. Have horizontal members which form hinges before the vertical members. Before the vertical members. Next one. Have uniform and continuous distribution of strength. Have uniform and continuous distribution of strength, comma, mass and stiffness. Have uniform and continuous distribution of strength, comma, mass and stiffness. Next one. Have sufficient ductility. Have sufficient ductility. Have sufficient ductility. Next one. Have stiffness related to subsoil properties. Stiffness related to subsoil properties. Stiffness related to subsoil properties. Okay. So what overall form is over here? We have to consider while planning the building. So overall form of the building should be, first one is the first objective is here, first aspect is here, that is be simple and symmetrical. Building should be simple and the symmetrical building. Second one, it should not be elongated in plan or the elevation. Okay, it should not be. If there असं elongated पण नसलं पाहिजे आणि elevated पण जास्त नसले पाहिजे building. Size should be moderate. Okay, next one, have uniform and continuous distribution of strength, mass and stiffness. Means there should be a uniform and continuous distribution of strength, mass and the stiffnesses. Next, have horizontal members which form hinges before the vertical members. Okay, there should be a sufficient ductility. Ductility means there is a structural integrity between the all the components of the building. So there should be a structural integrity as well. Then automatically our building will be resist all types of the forces which are coming on the building. That rate is more whenever the ductility is over there. Again, have stiffness related subsoil properties. Again, where there is a type of soil, that type of soil should be resist whatever the forces coming from the structure on the earth. Okay, so soil properties are also good over there. So these all parameters, that is the overall form of the structure. Okay, while considering the principles of earthquake resistant design as far as the aspect number one, that is the overall form of building. Okay, I hope all of you have understand. Now we'll see the second aspect, that is the simplicity and the symmetry. So write down simplicity and symmetry. Simple structures are good. Simple structures are good. Simple structures are good due to the following reasons. Simple structures are good due to the following reasons. First, the ability to understand overall earthquake behavior is for complex one full stop. Second one, ability to understand structural detail is considerably great. Structural detail is considerably great for simple structure than complicated structure. Next one, buildings should be regular in plan and elevation. Building should regular in plan and elevation. Without re-entrant corner or discontinuity in transferring vertical load to ground display good seismic behavior. It is important that the plan of structure is symmetrical in both directions. The plan of structure is symmetrical in both directions. Okay, below this I done. In general, building with simple geometry. In general, building with simple geometry in plan. In general, building with simple geometry in plan. Perform well during earthquake. Building with re-entrant corner U, V and X will face considerable damage hence should be avoided. Okay, so from this simplicity and the symmetry, what you have understand, if our structure is simple, we have achieved the aspect like a symmetricity and the simplicity in the building, then automatically there is no problem for the equal transferring of load and transferring the load from the vertical members towards the horizontal members and towards the towards the soil also. Okay, so for that purpose we have to go for this planning aspect like a symmetry, simplicity. So now we'll move towards the what are the shape which we'll consider for the symmetrical and unsymmetrical buildings. Okay, so you can see this first that is shown here. That first shape is over here, that is the rectangular shape which is shown, but it is elongated, so it is not recommended for the structures. Not recommended for the earthquake resistant structure, because the differential here is a behavior and opposite end of the long building. It is a elongated, it is a which having the length is more and width is less. Okay, so you can see the first you can see this first diagram. From this diagram there is a whatever the length is provided, that length is more, and that's why that building is not recommended for the structures. And if such a elongated that buildings are over there, then what will be happen, there is a hinges will be produced. If there is a window and the height of the building is shorter and that length is more, so at that time what will be happen, whenever the wind velocity is increases, there will be a some of the hinges will be plastic hinges will be produced, and that earthquake forces also applied on such structures are more, because the wind pressure is also more, and such a buildings will not be act as a good building, at a resistive building during the earthquake also. So that structure is not a recommended while earthquake loading. Okay, so we have to go for the next type of the shape now. Okay, now you can see bad for the unsymmetrical effect, behavior prediction problem. So you can see this T type of the section like the buildings over there. So that are also not a equilibrium position, and there should be there will be for earthquake load are coming, then automatically there will be a failure of the building will be occur. There is a C section type of the buildings are also shown, that are also not good for the building to resist the earthquake forces. After that, there is a H type of the structures. H type of the structures you can see, though the symmetrical long wings are here, behavior prediction problem is here. But as far as this H section, such a types of if the buildings are there, there is a behavior prediction problem will be coming over there, and such a buildings are also not recommended while the earthquake loads are there. Okay. Next one, you can see there is a next shape of the building, that is the re-entrant corners. So you can see there is a 1, 2, 3, 4 corners are here. Where is the connection it has been made. So such a connection, there is a whatever the structural detailing is not well and well over there, then there the corners becomes poor, and if corner becomes poor, and at that time if earthquake loads are coming, then automatically at smaller magnitude earthquake also that building will be getting collapsed. So such a types of the shape is also not considered uh, while achieving the earthquake resistant building. Okay, so next one is there is a you can see such a types of the building, that is the asymmetrical. There will be a torsional problems, the hinges, plastic hinges will be produces. So these are the not recommended structures while planning the earthquake resistant building. So I request all of you please draw this all the diagrams, so you can understand simplicity and the symmetry factor over here. And after that we will see the what type of the parameter, what type of the shapes will be recommended while achieving the earthquake resistant building. So draw this first diagram number 1, that is not recommended. So draw this first diagram of this rectangular box. Draw this first, and below this write down differential behavior on opposite end of long building. Differential behavior on opposite end of long building. Differential behavior on Opposite end of long building. Opposite end of long building. Below this, draw these two figures, T section and C section. T section and C section you draw and write down. Bad for asymmetrical effects. Bad for asymmetrical effects. Behavior prediction problem over there. Behavior prediction problem. Full stop. Behavior prediction problem. Behavior prediction problem. Below this, write down H section. H type of the section. Below this, write down those symmetrical, long wings to symmetrical, long wings, behavior prediction problem. Behavior prediction problem. Behavior prediction problem. Okay. Below this, write down re-entrant corners. Re-entrant corners. Poor detailing. So draw this diagram. Re-entrant corners with poor detailing. Okay. And last one you write asymmetrical, unsymmetrical torsion problem which will be produced in this type of the building. So write down next step, that is the unsymmetrical torsion problem will be produced. Okay. So below this, write down recommended structures. Okay, recommended structures. Now you can write the next one is the recommended structure. Now we have seen the what type of the structures are not what type of the plans are not recommended. Okay, which will not resist the earthquake forces. Okay, but now we'll see the recommended structures which will resist the earthquake forces. It will be act as an earthquake resistant building. So first one is the recommended structure. That is the first one is the square section. So you can write ideal for behavior and analysis. It is ideal. So you can see the square section. The square section, which is the it is a idealized, which is having the ideal behavior and which having the best, which will be act during the earthquake loads which are coming on the structure. Okay, second one is the good symmetry, which having the whatever the stresses produces that will be equally distributed in that area also. Again, there is a H type of the section. You can see that H section and not in the not recommended structure. So that H section we will split into this ideal for behavior during the earthquake. So if such a types of the section will be produces, such a types of the plan if we produce, then what will be happen, that building will be act as an earthquake resistant building. So I request all of you, please draw this all the figures for the recommended structures. Recommended structure, write down recommended structures, and below this you draw these three diagrams. I hope you have completed these figures about the recommended structures for the building. First one is the square building. Second one is the symmetrical, that is circular section. Next one is the H type of the section. We can split into these three ways. Into this first, second, and third. Okay, so that area will split, then it will be act as a good for the resistance towards the earthquake load. In this way, in this lecture, we have seen, we have started unit number 5, and we have seen what is the conceptual design, first part. Second part, we have seen the overall form of the building should be in what way, that we have seen. And the second aspect, that is the simplicity and the symmetry, whatever the recommended structures and whatever the not recommended structure, that parameter we have seen. Okay, so today in this lecture, we'll stop here, and whatever remaining part, that we'll see in the next lecture. So thank you all. Tomorrow we'll see the next part, which is remaining from this unit number 5. So thank you all.